Hey there everyone. So welcome to our Leap Academy YouTube channel. My name is Nash Akhtar. I'm a certified career English coach. And in this lesson, I'm going to show you all how you should write your CV. So remember, a CV, or we call it as a curriculum vitae or a resume, is a document you use to apply for jobs. Your CV should present your work history, your qualification, and skills, which should be presented properly to show how potential you are for the job. So the most important thing is that when you submit your CV or when the HR department sees your CV, they should be impressed. Now, at times, I'm a bit surprised to see people when they submit their CV, it doesn't look impressive. They don't even show whether they want the potential company to hire them. So you can't apply for a job thinking like, please recruit me. You need to show your professional value. So that's what we're going to learn today. So guys, using the same CV for every job you apply could be a mistake. You need to understand the company's requirement, what they are looking for, and whether your CV would meet those requirements. Now that's an important thing. Poor structuring, we're going to focus on that, and failing to show how potential you are for the applied job. Because in life, we need to understand whether we are an asset or a liability. So that's why instead of being worried, you need to understand what is my professional value. And you need to know whether you're able to show that when you write your CV. So that's an important thing. So now guys, when you write your CV, remember, there are 5 points that you need to cover. So the correct order should be the CV header with the contact information, personal profile, that means your CV objective or CV summary. Now this is very important. So when you write a CV objective, you need to show who you are, your achievements, and how you can be valuable. So you're going to learn that today. A CV summary is actually good for professionals who are really experienced, and that's how, if you're a qualified, highly experienced professional, you need to write a very nice summary, so that way it will look impressive. Then your work experience, and when you share your work experience, it has to be measurable. There should be specific achievements. Then your education, skills, and of course, we can have an additional section to show additional achievements related to your profession. Now, there are certain CV formatting rules we need to know. Now, for example, when you use fonts, try to keep it simple, like Arial, Tahoma, Helvetica, Times New Roman. So don't try to use uncommon fonts, because that's not going to impress the HR department. So guys, the next point which I would like to share is you have to be very consistent with your CV layout. Because nowadays, yes, you can use Canva, there are different templates. Maybe they might look impressive, but you need to be careful. Set 1-inch margins for all 4 sides. Make sure your CV headings are uniform. Make them larger and in bold, but go easy on italics and underlining. And also guys, stick to a single date format on your CV. For example, if you use 11/2025, next time don't use November 2025. That's an important thing as well, right? Because inconsistent, if you are inconsistent, that might give a wrong impression. So now let's try to focus on the design. So remember, do not fill your CV with too many colors, right? White space is your friend. Recruiters need some breathing room. Since your CV is going to be printed in black ink on white paper, too many graphics might make it illegible. So guys, the most important thing is that when you design your CV, if you think it's better to have a nice background color like blue and gold, be careful, because when they want to discuss your CV, they might print it. Maybe they don't have a color printer, and if it's fully black and white, and if there is a lot of black in it, it's not going to impress during the discussion. So you have to be very careful with that. Now guys, make your CV brief and relevant. Don't be one of those candidates stuck in the 90s who think they have to include every single detail about their lives on their CVs, right? Because you just need to understand whether your CV is going to be a solution for their issues. That means whether you are able to meet their requirements. And that should be there when you write your CV, and it should be just one page. And when they read the first page, they need to get an idea about that. And that's an important thing as well. So overall, remember the sample CV format, the CV header with contact information, personal profile, CV objective or CV summary, work experience, education, skills, and additional sections. So that's why you can't ask someone to write a CV for you. ඒකත් ලොකු මිස්ටේක් එකක් because මම දැකලා තියෙනවා ගොඩාක් අය කියන්නේ මට CV එකක් මේ කරලා දෙන්න පුළුවන්ද, right? Or maybe they think that the other person can be an expert and they can do the job for them. එහෙම වෙන්නේ නැහැ. ඔයා ඉස්සෙල්ලා බලන්න ඕනේ ඔයා කොච්චර ඔයාගේ profession එකට ආදරය කරනවද කියලා. Because if you love your profession, you should be able to write a very nice CV. You need to share your story. You can't ask someone else to write their story for you. So that's an important thing. So now guys, let's move on to each and every section. So first of all, how to add your contact information. Now my suggestion is that the CV header with the contact information should be very clear. So people would like to know your full name, which is important, your professional title, your email address, your telephone number, LinkedIn profile, and home address, right? And I'm pretty sure you should have a LinkedIn. I'm sure you know the importance of a LinkedIn profile. So make sure that you do have a LinkedIn profile, and the link should be there, which is pretty obvious. So once again, remember full name, professional title, email address, telephone number, LinkedIn profile, and of course the home address. So the best option would be the following, like the name, Lauren Chen, digital marketing specialist, phone number, email address, and the LinkedIn profile link, right? So this way, it's very clear. But sometimes some people, they have the photo, then the name is on the right column, then the email address is on the left column. So you just need to be very careful, because usually the HR department or the HR managers can be very particular about these things, because you need to show them how organized you are. And if you can show them that you are really organized, particular about these things, you can definitely give a nice impression. So please keep that in mind. So now guys, let's move on to the personal profile, CV objective or CV summary. Now remember, when you write a CV objective, then most probably you are a student, or maybe you have just started your career. Maybe you're looking for a career change, you have taken a new career path. So in this case, it's better to write a CV objective. Now remember, a CV objective shows what skills you've mastered and how you'd fit in. It's a good choice if you've got little work experience relevant to the job you're trying to land. But a CV summary, on the other hand, is suitable for professionals. A CV summary in turn highlights your career progress and achievements. Use it if you are a seasoned professional and have a lot of experience in your field. So now, look at the examples. Now, when you write a CV objective like a recently graduated software engineer looking for a challenging role in an IT company where I can put skills to test, a dependable qualified software engineer who is trained to work in a competitive environment and provide the best service, seeking to leverage my programming skills and become a valuable employee at Axiom PLC. So if you look at these two examples, so if you look at the first one, right, it doesn't make much sense. It's very general. But here, this candidate has mentioned that he is dependable, qualified, and trained to work in a competitive environment. Now that's how you need to write your CV objective. But when you write a CV summary, you need to be more specific. Remember, when you write a CV summary, you need to show your experience, your achievements. So that's important. Now look at the summary here. It says, diligent software engineer with 5+ years of experience in commercial application and software development, eager to join Cyclone to build innovative and cutting-edge business solutions for the impressive suite of clients within its global reach. In previous roles, now this is where it becomes very interesting. In previous roles, slashed downtime by 25% and ensured 98% on-time project completion. Also identified and dealt with a significant process bottleneck that boosted coding efficiency by 35% when resolved. So quite often, I don't see people writing specific achievements in their CV summary. But remember, if you mention specific achievements, now let's say if you're an accountant, maybe you were able to identify extra cost, or maybe you were able to cut down certain expenses, and that really helped the company to progress. So if you can mention such specific details, that would definitely make you stand out. So guys, how to write a CV summary. Step 1, keep your personal statement short. It should be a single paragraph of 30 to 80 words about the sweet spot, right? That usually means 3 to 6 sentences. Try to include all of your most relevant achievements, but don't repeat yourself. Make every word earn its place on your CV profile. Now, for example, guys, it's very important with the second step to understand your achievements. So add measurements to your achievements. Now, for example, did you save your company money? How much? Now, if you're into marketing, like because of your involvement, you created brand awareness, increased the number of followers, and so on. So pay attention to that. Have you boosted sales or revenue? How large were the budgets you've handled? How many colleagues were there on your team, and how many have you trained or supervised? How much work were you able to complete within a day or a week? Then, it's very important, how often did you perform certain tasks, right? So, before writing a CV summary, you need to question yourself. And that's an important thing. So guys, another example here for a CV summary. Inquisitive computer science specialist with 8+ years of experience looking to leverage strong programming skills as a developer, right? For Acme led a team of 11 coders at Helicon Birth Systems, delivered projects as an average of 10% before deadline with 15% less errors than other teams. Trained 25 programmers in cloud computing skills as well. So it's very important to be more specific here, right? And that's what we've done here. So here, led a team of 11 coders at Helicon Birth Systems, delivered projects an average of 10% before deadline with 15% less errors than other teams. So you can't write general points like dedicated, hardworking, intelligent, who cares? That's an important thing. So I want to say a very important point, and this I've seen, and I've already mentioned that. Api then Lankave, api avila me use වෙලා තියෙනවා pattern එකකට. ඒ කියන්නේ අපි qualify වුණා, ඊට පස්සේ අපි job එකක් හොයනවා, නැත්නම් අපි හිතනවා අපි doctor කෙනෙක් වුණොත් අපිට සල්ලි හම්බ කරන්න පුළුවන් කියලා, නැත්නම් engineer කෙනෙක් වුණොත් සල්ලි හම්බ කරන්න පුළුවන් කියලා. හැබැයි ඒ pattern එකෙම හිතුවොත් කවදා දිනු වෙන්න බෑ. ඒ හින්දා හැම වෙලේම බලන්න ඕනේ market එකේ තියෙන requirements මොනවාද? ලෝකේ තියෙන ප්‍රශ්න මොනවාද? ඒ ප්‍රශ්න වලට අපෙන් එන විසඳුම් මොනවාද? ඒක ඉතාමත්ම වැදගත්. මොකද ළඟදී මම දැක්ක ස්ටීව් ජොබ්ස් කියලා තියෙනවා එයා කවදාත් හිතුවේ නෑලු මාකට් එකට මොනවද ඕනේ කියලා. එයා හැම වෙලෙම බැලුවේ එයාට ඕන දේ කොහොමද විකුණන්න ඕන පුළුවන් කියලා. එතනදී අපි අඳුන ගන්න ඕනේ එයා එතනදී කළේ Apple වලින් මාකට් එකට requirement එකක් introduce කළා. ඒ කියන්නේ iPhone එක. ඒ කියන්නේ එකම device එකෙන් අපිට call කරන්න පුළුවන්, internet එක use කරන්න පුළුවන්, ඒ වගේම entertainment එකට use කරන්න පුළුවන්. ඒ වගේ සමහරට අපි හිතන්න ඕනේ මට market එකට demand එකක් ගේන්න පුළුවන්ද? The same thing Elon Musk did. Like that, when you are a professional, you need to understand how can I be valuable? That's a very important thing, guys. The moment you understand that, you can succeed. So please, now let's focus on how we should share our experience. So how to write your work experience and key achievements. So guys, when you write your experience, what you shouldn't do, don't just list your previous positions and your duties. Remember, recruiters know what you did, They want to know how well you did it and what you can offer your prospective employer. So, for example, focus on your measurable, relevant achievements, not just your duties. Use action verbs like created, analyzed, implemented, not responsible for creating, analysis, and implementation. So guys, always use the action verb like with ed, like created, analyzed, implemented, handled, managed. That's an important thing. And tailor your CV to the job posting. Read the job description carefully. That's a very important thing. And check what tasks will be expected of you. If you've done them before, put them on your CV, even if those weren't your primary responsibilities, right? So that's an important thing. So you need to understand, what are they looking for, right? What are the requirements? Now, have I done something related to these requirements, right? Mention that. That would definitely make you stand out. So now, guys, let's focus on a few examples, like work experience section, Puma, 10/2015 till present in Dubai, created and maintained list of media contacts, researched opportunities across online media channels, produced product pictures and press kits, supported event organization, responded to media inquiries. So it's very important to kind of, speak about the achievements, but remember, you have to show that you have already done it. So that's why instead of saying creating, maintaining, it's better to say created and maintained. Now, with the education section, now that's the next part. Remember, you need to mention your degree, institution name, and honors if applicable. Honors if applicable. So that will be important. So here, if you have just graduated or have little experience, then do two things. Number one, place your education section above your work experience. Number two, elaborate a bit more on your academic experience. Include, for instance, your dissertation title, favorite fields of study, relevant coursework, your best achievements, and of course, extracurricular academic activities. So these things are important. So guys, how to put relevant skills that fit the job openings. Now that's the next part after education. The skills you decide to include on your CV have to be relevant to the job you're trying to land. Now, for example, guys, if you're applying for a marketing position, you need to understand how cookery is going to be relevant there, right? Or if you're applying for a leadership role, you need to understand how, let's say, singing song or participating in a music competition is going to be relevant. I'm not saying it's a mistake, but you need to make sure that it makes sense, right? Otherwise, it's not going to give a very good impression. And that's another issue I see with CVs. Because especially in Sri Lanka, for example, people are after certifications. ඒක තවත් ලොකු ප්‍රශ්නයක්. ගොඩාක් වෙලාවට අපි හිතනවා මම දැකලා තියෙන ඉංග්‍රීසි කෝස් එක වුණත් සර්ටිෆිකේට් එකක් දෙනවද? හැබැයි ලෙසන් එකක් අටෙන්ඩ් කළා. ඒ කියන්නේ ඩෙමෝ ලෙසන් එකක් අටෙන්ඩ් කළත් ඒගොල්ලන් අහනවා සර්ටිෆිකේට් එකක් දෙනවද? මයින්ඩ්සෙට් එක ඇවිල්ලා සර්ටිෆිකේට් 10ක් තිබ්බනම් හොඳ ජොබ් එකක් ගන්න පුළුවන්. සර්ටිෆිකේට් 20ක් තිබ්බනම් හොඳ ජොබ් එකක් ගන්න පුළුවන්. එහෙම වෙන්නේ නැහැ. ඔයත් බලන්න ඕනේ සර්ටිෆිකේට් එකක් පස්සේ යද්දී ඒකෙන් ඔයා ගේන් කරන knowledge එක මොකක්ද? ඒකෙන් කොහොමද අපිට ඉදිරියට යන්න පුළුවන්? අද ඇවිල්ලා කොච්චර courses තියනවාද? designing කියනවා, AI කියනවා, අරවා කියනවා, මේවා කියනවා. හැබැයි certificate එක තියෙනවා. හැබැයි ඒ certificate එකෙන් සල්ලි හම්බ කරන්න බැරි වෙනවා. ඇයි ඒකට හේතුව? So sometimes guys, it's not about just having the knowledge, but it's about how you can bring value with that knowledge to the society. So that's a very important thing. So next time when you wake up, you need to understand, who am I? What do I want to do? How can I be valuable? And the most important question is, how do you want the society to know you one day? That's a very important aspect as well. Another point is, ගොඩක් වෙලාවට අපි හිතනවා අපි ඇවිල්ලා අපේ passion එක පස්සේ තමයි යන්න ඕනේ. ඒ කියන්නේ මම කැමති cook කරන්න. දැන් අපිට ඇවිල්ලා chef කෙනෙක් වුණාම මට සල්ලි හම්බ කරන්න පුළුවන් වෙයි. මොකද ඒක තමයි මගේ passion එක. That's correct. But at the same time, you need to understand with that passion, how can you bring value to the society. So if you understand that, guys, believe me, you will definitely become successful. So now coming back to the relevant skills. So it's a very important aspect. So when it comes to relevant skills, right? Software engineer, agile frameworks, interpersonal communication skills, Java, HTML, CSS. So all these program languages would make the HR manager impressed. Then status tracking frameworks, practical knowledge of SQL and database concepts, solid knowledge of cybersecurity principles. So if you're a marketeer, if you're an engineer, if you're an accountant, right, maybe it's better to show skills that would enhance your CV, that would make it look more impressive, right? Think about it first before speaking about the cookery or other hobbies. So that's an important aspect, guys. Do keep in mind. So what to include in additional sections? When you include additional sections, make sure it's relevant to the job you're applying for. Industry awards, professional certifications, publications, conferences attended related to the profession, and additional training. So guys, keep your CV simple, right? Don't make it too long, and make sure it's relevant. And for students, right, additional sections, of course, here, since you're a student, since you're about to start your career, you can mention your volunteer experience, hobbies and interest, projects, freelance work, academic achievements, personal blog. Now, for example, you want to apply for a sales position as a sales assistant, right? Maybe it's your first job. So you don't have experience as a sales assistant, but if you can mention, when I worked as a volunteer, I was able to raise funds. I was able to convince, right, the community to contribute. So if you can mention specific achievements like that, that's going to be impressive. So you can say, look, I've never done sales, but I have done certain voluntary work, and from that I've gained experience how to raise funds. That's sales, right? So here it's very important to be specific. So guys, that's it. If you have questions, do leave in the comment section. I'll be more than happy to answer. And please stay tuned, subscribe to our channel, and I'm looking forward to teaching you very soon.